Are you ready to explore the world of punch needle? With our kit, you'll make an adorable white bunny art piece with ease. Follow along with our step-by-step tutorial video. First, let's learn how to stretch the fabric onto the hoop. The embroidery hoop has two parts. Loosen the screw to separate the inner and outer rings. Place the outer hoop underneath, make sure the screw is facing upwards. Align the fabric and fit the hoops together. Tighten the screw slowly while pulling the fabric evenly. Make sure that the design is centered in the hoop. While stitching, if the fabric loosens, simply loosen the hoop, stretch it again, and tighten. Next, let's thread the yarn into the needle. First, let's use the threader tool. Insert it through the hole at the tip, push it all the way through the needle body. Next, thread your yarn through the wire loop and pull it through. The yarn will come out at the needle tip. Remove the threader and pull the yarn slightly back. Leave about 5 centimeters of yarn at the needle tip. Now your punch needle is ready to use. Let's start punching. About punch needle. Each design has a flat side and a fluffy side. Depending on the pattern, you'll choose which side to show. For this bunny project, we'll use the flat side technique for the entire piece. The fluffy technique will be covered in another video. Now let's dive into the stitching technique. Here's a detailed guide to help you. For flat side stitching, we punch on the front side of the fabric. Insert the needle fully until the handle touches the fabric. Pull the yarn tail through the back. Then lift the needle just above the fabric and punch again. Leave a small gap 3 to 4 threads wide. That's 3 to 4 threads. Remember, don't punch too close together or you might run out of yarn. Keep lifting slightly and punching forward. Make sure the needle goes in all the way so the yarn stays in place and doesn't slip out. While stitching, remember to feed the yarn and avoid pulling it tight. Don't press anything against the yarn either, as tension can cause the loops to slip out. When working on a section, outline the shape first. Then you can fill it in with spiral strokes until the area is full. Make sure stitches are close enough to cover the fabric. And try to stagger the rows so the texture looks more even and smooth. There are 2 ways to finish your stitching. Option 1, punch the last stitch, hold the yarn at the tip. Then lift, cut the yarn and pull the tail to the back. Option 2, punch the last stitch, flip to the back and cut the yarn, then pull it out. Be careful not to let the yarn slip from the needle or it might come undone. About flat side punching. Here are some common mistakes you might run into. Watch carefully so you can avoid or fix them easily. Let's go over them together. First, the yarn doesn't stay in the fabric and comes loose. Even after punching, it unravels. There are a few reasons. One reason is not punching the needle all the way down. If you only punch halfway and not fully to the handle, the yarn on the back will be too short and might slip out. So remember to punch all the way down every time to keep your yarn secure on the fabric. Second, the yarn is too tight. You might forget to pull more yarn from the ball, or something might be pressing on the yarn. In this case, just loosen more yarn or move whatever is pressing on the yarn. If there's a knot, cut that part off and re-thread the needle. Then you can continue punching as normal. Third, you might thread the needle the wrong way. The yarn should go from the tail end of the needle to the tip and pass through the front hole. That causes the yarn to not adhere to the fabric properly. So make sure to re-thread your needle, following the instructions carefully. If you want to redo a section, just pull the stitches out gently and lightly scratch the fabric so the holes don't get too big. Then pull the yarn taut and continue punching. However, don't redo it too many times or the fabric might tear and won't hold the yarn properly anymore. Another common mistake is that the stitches get bulky and hard to punch through. The reason is that your stitches are too short, which causes them to pile on top of each other. This can also lead to running out of yarn. Conversely, if your stitches are too long, they'll look rough and won't stay on the fabric. That's because the stitches are too far apart. As I mentioned before, you should space each stitch about 3 to 4 fabric threads apart. For smaller details, 2 fabric threads is okay. If your yarn sticks out from the fabric surface, it's because you lifted the needle too high, which pulled the yarn out and made it bulge. How to fix this? Just lift the needle close to the fabric. If you did lift it too high, just gently pull the yarn to tighten it. Take your time and go slowly until you get the hang of it. Now let's practice together. Applying the flat stitch technique. To complete our embroidery piece, we'll start with outlining the bunny shape first. Then move on to small details like the eyes, mouth, inner ears, and the carrot, then finish the larger areas around it like the fur and the background. First, use black yarn to outline the bunny. This helps define the shapes clearly. Lift the needle close to the fabric and make stitches 3 to 4 threads apart. Next, we'll stitch the small parts like the eyes and mouth. At this point, reduce the stitch length to about 2 threads so the result looks neat. For the small eye area, 2 to 3 zigzags are enough, just like this. After the black details, we'll fill in the ears, belly, and carrot. Next is the fur area using the same flat stitch technique. Start with the outline as always, then stitch inward in a spiral motion. Keep the stitches close together to cover the fabric. Lastly, we'll fill in the background. Start by stitching around the frame edge. Make sure you only punch into the edge of the frame to keep the shape neat, round, and not lopsided. And there we have it, our embroidery is done. To hang it up nicely, we'll gather and sew the extra fabric on the back. Before that, let's trim any excess yarn on the back. Take a piece of leftover yarn about 1 meter long. From the extra thread you have, thread it into a plastic needle. Insert the needle from the front side of the fabric, about 2 centimeters from the hook edge. Pull it through and leave about 10 centimeters of yarn. Then insert the needle again about 1 centimeter away from the first stitch. Keep stitching evenly all around the hook with up and down stitches. End with a stitch 1 to 2 centimeters away from the starting point. After stitching, you'll have a loop of yarn around the hoop like this. Flip the hoop to the back. Grab both yarn ends and pull to tighten the fabric around the hoop. Then tie the yarn ends together to finish. And that's it, we've completed the cute bunny embroidery. With a bit of patience and care, you can totally make these handmade pieces yourself and gift them to your loved ones. Feel free to message us if you need any help. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.